Let's go to Diane in one of my favorite cities in America, Santa Fe, New Mexico. What's up, Diane?
Hi, Dr. Delony. How are you today?
So good. How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much.
Of course. What's up?
Hi. Just a little bit of background. I'm a disabled veteran. I participated in Desert Storm, and I'm going to be 58 in a few days. I'm a fiscal year baby. And in May, I graduated with dual master's degrees. I have an MSW and an MBA from a state university.
Okay.
The kicker is that 2 weeks before graduation, my new VA doctor told me that I had been diagnosed with ADHD, but I was never notified. Totally fell through the cracks.
Because why not, right? Way to go, VA. Way to go.
Okay. So 2 weeks before working on 2 master's degrees. Oh, by the way, I found out that you have this. I'm like, oh, great. My university was extremely difficult, but I got through. Mm-hmm. I also have generalized anxiety disorder. I believe that's part of the ADHD as well. I was always blue and pink collar in the past. I always worked factory jobs and office jobs. I always had trouble with jobs and with taking care of my personal affairs. So I have a patchy life of great success and spectacular failure, both. And now I'm a white-collar professional for the first time in my life, and I'm getting ready for a new job in 2 weeks. I'm terrified to go into a new professional job and mess up because of the ADHD impulsiveness, lack of social skills, no boundaries, no sense of time, procrastination, all of those classic symptoms. I did just start Ritalin with the help of my new VA doctor. She's wonderful. I'm on a waiting list for therapy. How do I make this new transition a success for my new team, for the people I'm going to be caring for, and for myself?
Awesome question. I think you're awesome, by the way, Diane.
Oh, thank you. I think you are too.
I'm a YouTuber. Let's be honest. I'm not that good. I'm on TikTok, for God's sake. The people you sit down to love are so blessed because you're in their life. I'm glad you've made this transition. Have you heard me talk about my mom's story?
No, I haven't.
Okay, I'll do this in 30 seconds and we'll get to your answers. But here's some encouragement for you. My mom didn't go to college, just for a number of reasons, didn't go to college. First community college class was age 42. She graduated her PhD at 57, so y'all are basically the same boat.
Wow. At
62, 63, she got tenured as a professor at some fancy university, and she's in her 70s, and I was talking to her the other night, and she's like, yeah, I'm going to be teaching at Oxford next summer. Dude, this is a lady that would not get on an airplane, minus 9 Xanax, and now she's flying all over the world in her 70s, teaching at fancy, see what I'm saying? So here's what I want to encourage you. The party's just getting going, Diane.
That's wonderful to hear.
The party's just getting going.
I was too late.
No. No. All right. Here's what you've got to do. You've got to cool it with the labels. Okay? Dunskies. No more blue collar, white collar. I'm a this, not a that. Here's the deal. You've had ADHD your whole life. You didn't just get it 2 weeks before graduating.
You're right.
You rattled off a series of symptoms that fell into a diagnostic category, and somebody went wham and stamped your chart with a stamp. You've been dealing with this your whole stinking life.
That's true. I was diagnosed as a second grader in the early 70s, but back then they thought children outgrew it. So after 6th grade, they just cut you off. That was it.
That's right. So you've been wrestling with this forever. Did you get dishonorably discharged?
No, I'm honorably discharged. In fact, I earned an Army Commendation Medal.
Awesome.
I was an expert on the M16. I have other awards. All right,
so hold on. You are able to take apart, fix, put back together, and fire an M16 with extraordinary precision, correct?
Yes, I was very good at it.
You're able to follow directions in a way when you are actually engaged in a task in a way that is second to none. Very few people on the planet can laser in with that ability and focus on that particular task like you can. True or false?
That's true.
That's true. So I don't want to hear any nonsense about your brain is broken, that you have a label, that you've got some sort of dysfunction. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You do have regulation issues. And as a card-carrying member of the How Do You Stay Employed ADHD Club, I would like to welcome you to our gang officially. Okay?
Okay.
So you are putting a lot of bricks in your own backpack for no reason other than the fact that you have been told throughout your life, as many of us in America have been told, that there is a difference between people who turn wrenches for a living and people who write briefs in a courtroom for a living, and people who do quote unquote work where they have to tuck their shirts in and iron their clothes for a living. There is no difference. There is work, and it all has value.
Yes, you're right. My father was blue collar. I grew up in a blue collar type of atmosphere. Learned a lot under him.
But I did too. Then, but you also learned we do the real work around here. Those white collar folks, that's what you learned. My dad was a cop. I did too. I learned that too. Right? Like those guys just sitting in those places with their suits on. And then when I got a suit on, I was like, those guys work hard. It's a different kind of work. They have more access to better alcohol to numb it all with. But like that job's hard too. So what you're going to find is as a MSW, an MBA, as a leader, leadership's hard. Like dealing with the struggles of people's hard. Balancing all the budgets across that's hard. Mm-hmm. And so there's not a difference there.
This new position, it'll be my first, is with Adult Protective Services. I'm going to be an investigative caseworker.
Wonderful. So here's what you're going to be really good at, I'm guessing. You are going to be incredible at connecting with your staff. You are going to be the most loved supervisor. You're going to be incredible showing up on a scene and sitting down with somebody or a family that has to make a hard decision about putting one of their elderly family members in a home or in a place you're going to be amazing at that. And you are going to be a nightmare at case notes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true?
That's true.
You're going to have like little bits of paper or like a yellow pad, and then you're going to go from a yellow pad to an iPad, and from an iPad to like a special journal. That's going to be the hard part, right? Is the businessy parts, making sure your reports are done and they're written up so that when you go to court, which you inevitably will, you can look like you're an adult, right? You see what I'm saying? That's going to be the hard part. Is that fair?
Yes. I'm one of those, I'll procrastinate on something until the last second to build up the adrenaline to get it done. And I have really a terrible time with sense of time.
That my wife calls it my magic time.
That's cute.
She says, you're the only person I've ever met who gets in the shower at 8:04 and gets out of the shower at 8:15, and they're really mad that they're going to be late to the 8:00 meeting. That's 30 minutes away. Like, she's like, I don't know. Like, you have the strangest, it's 7:58. And I'm like, no, that's cool. There's not an 8 there. I got time to shower, brush my teeth and shave and sing a few songs and then drive to work. I'll get coffee too on the way, stop at the dry cleaner. And then I get to work and it's 8:40 and I'm mad at the time. Like, I'm like the clock screwed me somehow. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I am with you. I am with you. And here,
I'm so glad you understand.
Oh God, dude, it's like I was with James Child, the former producer. We were having dinner the other day together, and we were talking about something, and we had somewhere to be, and I just kept talking, and it was like the light bulb went on for him, and he looked at me and goes, "You literally experience time differently than I do," and I was like, "I think so." And because I could feel it in his body, he was like, "We gotta go," and I was like, "Dude, we're in the middle of a hard conversation. Let's just keep talking. This is great." And it's when he realized, oh, you are feeling this whole thing different than me. It just is. So here's our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I can't be late all the time because it's disrespectful to people that I care about and that I love and who are other professionals.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to do the best I can to either hire somebody who keeps me accountable, if I can do that in my current job. I have to create systems that I never deviate from, regardless of quote unquote, and here's what's bad about ADHD, folks, how we feel. Because we feel so heavy. We feel so strongly about things.
Yeah.
So I will exercise regardless of how I feel, unless I'm at a point of fatigue where I can cross the line, and now I've been doing it long enough, now I know. I literally didn't work out this morning because I've reached a fatigue level that if I work out, I'm going to get sick and then I'm going to be out for 3 days. I know that about myself. And so I took this morning off. I'll get it in this afternoon, but I took this morning off. That's okay. But 99% of the time, my feelings don't get a vote in the mornings. I will do this at this time. I'll do this. And I've had to practice it. Practice. If you filter your practices through, I have this thing, it's never going to work. Okay. Keep this phrase in your mind. It's a context, not an excuse.
I like that.
Okay. You are going to be more chaotic, and you are going to be more loving when you get there than anybody else. You're going to struggle with deadlines, and your reports are going to be better than anybody else's. Okay. So you're bringing a lot to the table too. Your mission in life is not to not be so ADHD. Your mission in life is to get things in on time. We're going to focus on the thing, not the label. We're going to do a awesome job, whether we are reassembling an M16 or whether we are writing case notes at the nursing home, because we just do excellent work. That's just who we are.
Absolutely.
Does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense, and I'm so glad you put it that way. Really, I'll be honest that being told that just 2 weeks before graduation, and then of course you have all of the emotions and nostalgia in your life of, wow, I finally made it, and this is going on. But then I had that. Then I had this inertia for a while. I was too afraid to look for a job because I didn't know. So there was a lot of that going on as well. But I finally decided, I haven't worked since January, and I said, I really need to get going on this. I've just got to stop being afraid. I have noticed the difference with the Ritalin, which I'm really glad for.
Oh, dude, Ritalin's an amplifier. Here's the thing. Here's the demon of Ritalin. It works.
Yes.
It works. Same as cocaine. Cocaine works. It works great. And then it kills you, right? Alcohol. If you're sad, alcohol shuts that thing off. It helps you forget. And then it takes everything else with it, right? So I am not going to be somebody who tells a 58-year-old who's entering into a new job, who's had a lifelong war with ADHD, to not take medicine. I'm not going to do that. That's cruel. Okay. If you find some relief from Ritalin, which you will, I can't imagine a scenario where you won't, where you will find some relief. Good. In that relief, I want you to begin to practice setting up systems. As the great James Clear says, we fall to the strength of our systems. Meaning, if I wake up every day hoping I feel like exercising, I'm never going to do it. But if I've built my morning routine around 45 minutes of being in my personal gym, and I've, over the last 3 years, have bought some equipment in my personal gym, the system of my home is John's downstairs from 5:15 to 6 o'clock a.m., then even no matter what I feel, I'm going to fall to my system. My kids will ask me, I thought you were working out. My wife will be like, what are you doing up here? This is when you exercise. Like, the whole system is designed for me to work out during that time. We will fall to those systems. So while the voices are quieter, I had one buddy tell me, who's an adult who started taking Ritalin, I think he's about 50. He said it was like he didn't realize he'd been trying to learn and have conversations in a stadium full of people his entire life. And then he said it
Yeah.
finally sounded like everyone stopped talking for the first time in his life. And he was like, oh, wow. That's what he described it as, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the last numbers I heard, I'm going to be off here a little bit, but 3/4, 75% of college-age students are taking some sort of stimulant. That's insane.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So there's an abuse side of this too. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at this as the adjunct that it is, not the savior. Okay.
Okay.
It's an outstanding support, especially for someone in your situation, to be able to finally, okay, everybody stop yelling. Wow. Now I can do the work. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm. That's cool. One good thing about the VA, they're extremely strict with controlled substances.
That's right. That's right.
So I do have to take your analysis test, blood work, make sure that I'm doing fine. I have to ask for it every month. It's not automatically refilled.
Right.
I have to go in 3 months for assessments constantly. So it's not just like, oh, I'm just getting it and doing what I want.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. I you know what? Like from what you're telling me, and again, I'm not a psychiatrist, a psychologist, anything. It makes sense. It makes total sense. And if you were my mom, I'd high five you. I wouldn't be like, I don't know, Mom. Like, good for you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am, of all the things you've told me, the thing I'm most concerned for you is you have lived your entire life trying to chase down the right label for you. And listen to me so carefully. You don't need a freaking label to tell you that you're incredible. And nobody's ever told you that, Diane.
I have been told that. I've had a hard time believing it.
Okay. I stand corrected. You've not believed it. It's time. You're not your anxiety. You're not your ADHD. You're not your honorable discharge. You're not your veteran status. Those are things you've experienced. Those are things you have done. Those are parts of your life. You are Diane, my friend from Santa Fe, New Mexico, who's entering into yet another rad adventure, being a leader in a job that serves the least of these in our communities and struggling families and a bunch of new professionals. And you were selected to enter into that world because you're good at it. You're worthy of being loved, my sister, regardless of the labels. Stay on track with your doctor. Stay on track with your counselor. Good for you, good for you, good for you. I'm proud of you. White collar, blue collar, whatever it is, work to be excellent. And remember, it's a context, not an excuse. Still got to get that work done, Diane. We'll be rooting for you.